So some of these health and professional habits we're going to talk about. Eat your way, develop your fitness habit, address your deficiencies, prioritize sleep, add or remove a habit, daily business priority, spread your gratitude, build your network, and then social media and brand. This is for the majority of people, all of these would be beneficial. Doing all of these or the majority of these will be beneficial regardless of what your focus is, whether you're a real estate investor, whether it's professional, whether it's whatever, because these habits are the underlying habits for your health, which plays such a huge role in every part of your professional and just kind of your overall picture. Plus, the professional stuff is very targeted to have you focus on the most important thing that you've identified within your business, the thing you need to do the most of, as well as sharing gratitude with people and building your network and reestablishing your relationships and growing your network with new people. And social media / focusing on your brand is massive for the majority of people, right? It's not for everyone. You have to understand if there's a benefit for you to focus on social media. For me, it's very strategic. I'm not doing social media because I love creating content. That's not at all what I do. It's very intentional because I want to help other people on their journey, their investing journey, their path to financial freedom. Social media allows me to spread my message much wider. And at the same time, as someone who buys real estate, someone who raises money for real estate investments, someone who's growing my team, social media, brand awareness, visibility, more people that know who I am can partner with me and bring funding, partner with me and work within my business, bring me more deal flow, all of these various things, including spreading my message of why I believe the Super Investor Blueprint is the best path for the majority to achieve financial freedom through real estate. All of that is collectively done through social media. Have a reason for it. If you're a real estate investor, at minimum, that visibility, deal flow, team members, capital partners, right? Like that could be a major benefit for you. So I've raised all of my money as well. To build my $25 million portfolio, I needed $6 million of other people's money to then build that portfolio. And that came through putting myself out there. So eat your way. What does this mean? So eat your way means eat whatever diet that makes the most sense for you. Like I said, some people are focused on building muscle. Some people are focused on getting leaner. Some people are focused on reducing body fat. Like, I don't know. Everyone's different depending on your life and all that kind of stuff. Like, my focus is continue to build more muscle while also getting leaner. The way that I'm going to do that, the way that I've decided to move forward with that is by increasing my protein intake and lowering my carbs. I'm going to make sure that I'm near my daily intake like goal for calories, just a little bit underneath it. So I'm losing a little bit of weight, but the majority of my calories will come from protein and less carbs. Like, that's the main shift I'm going to make. What I'm going to do, what I'm going to try to build a habit is tracking my eating, right? What am I eating? Just documenting what am I eating? What are the calories and macros associated with that? And tracking my weight weekly to see what the progress looks like. I'm not anticipating losing much weight. That's not the goal, especially because muscle tends to weigh more than fat. So I might be the same weight, if not a little bit more. I'll probably lose weight. Personally, I got some chubby fat to lose over the next. So I'll probably lose weight, but it's really, how does it look aesthetically? And am I building muscle and getting stronger throughout this journey, which is the next phase, which will be more of the gym stuff. So month one, to make it easy, to make it as easy as possible for me, no processed foods. I don't even care if it's protein chips or whatever. I'm only eating whole foods. Nothing's processed, only whole foods and no late night munchies. That's fairly straightforward. For most people, going the no route is easier than adding stuff initially or making massive changes. So just saying, I'm not eating chips or processed foods, I'm not eating those cookies or whatever, even with a lot of stuff coming up, that's going to be tough over the next 90 days. No processed food, no late night munchies, right? That's when the chips and the cookies and the ice cream and all that stuff starts to creep into your life, is late at night. Well, I'm not going to be eating late at night, right? I'm not eating later in the day. And at the same time, a couple no things, right? No processed food, no late night munchies. So don't eat too late. I'm also going to start tracking my calories, my macros, and my weight, as well as taking photos of this journey. Month two, I'm going to level it up by reducing my carb and fat intake to 293 grams of carbs, 72 grams of fat. And then month three, I'm going to focus on getting a very high protein diet, which is very tough for some people to do. To add a lot of protein, it's going to be tough to do for some people to eat for what I'm looking for. The typical ratio is 1 to 1.5 grams of protein per pound of body weight. So I'm going to start with a goal of 180 grams of protein and reassess. So to start off, my number one goal is to track my eating and my weight, right? And take photos, document this process, track it. I'm going to start making progress towards my goal immediately by not eating any processed foods and not having late night munchies, right? Minimizing that while tracking. Month 2, I'm going to make it more difficult by reducing my carb and fat intake. And month 3, I'm going to really push towards a protein goal that I'm going to try to achieve every single month. Tools that I'm going to use for this process. Well, AthleanX is a awesome online tool that can help you estimate your macros and your calorie intake based on some very simple information: gender, age, weight, what my goals are, right? To gain muscle, not really lose a bunch of weight, but to gain muscle. This is what it recommends: my calorie intake, protein, carbs, and fat. That's where these numbers come from, right? That's where they come from. But I'm not going to try to get to this every single day, day one. So I'm not even tracking what I'm eating. So the number one thing for me to focus on right now is a calorie tracker app. Pace recommends Cal AI, which is an AI supported calorie tracker app. It's easier to talk to, and it's easier for these custom types of meals, because like these are my goals. Because for me, I already eat 2 servings of veggies with every single meal. I primarily eat raw foods, but sometimes I will add processed foods as a cheat snack, cravings, whatever. So for me, it's not that hard I pretty much eat a protein, a small portion of carbs, like rice, pasta, whatever, with a decent amount of protein, salmon, beef, chicken, turkey, whatever, and then eat 2 or more veggies with every single meal. So it's not going to be that crazy for me. For you, it might just literally be eat 2 veggies a day. Like I primarily eat fruits, veggies, ideally complex carbohydrates, and a decent amount of protein. What's going to be the hardest for me is to eat more and more regularly. This is actually going to be the hardest for me because I'm very good at cutting out the things I don't care to eat. I've gotten pretty good at that over the last couple of years. So for me, but what I don't do is track. So that's going to be a big one for me, is tracking. That's why it's part of my initial habits. It's easier for me to say no to this stuff, but this is going to be a very hard piece, is the tracking component. Then we're going to add, right? We're going to be more intentional about the carbs and fat, and then build on the protein. That's going to be the hardest part for me, to eat enough times a day and enough protein per meal to get there. All right. Next is develop your fitness. This is different for everyone. Like I said, for you, you might literally do nothing physically, and you might just need 10 minutes of walking a day or whatever it looks like. For me, it's important to track my exercises and my weightlifting progress. Collectively, I'm also taking photos weekly of this journey when I'm tracking my weight between my health and my fitness goals. So month 1, 7 days a week, any exercise at all. 45 minutes, any exercise, whether it's walking, running, weightlifting, that hits my goal. I'm going to physically do something 45 minutes a day, every single day. This is important for me as someone who does weightlift, sometimes runs, definitely walks. I cannot say with certainty that every single day I'm doing something physical. Some days it's been a very not physical day. I've been sitting here working. I've crammed my day full with work and then family and whatever, that I have not done anything for my physical health. Well, every single day, my goal is to do 45 minutes of any type of physical exercise. By month 2, right, starting day 31, 32, whatever, daily exercise. So it's not just the walking. That's no longer counting as my exercise. It has to be running or lifting. So 7 days a week, I'm either running or lifting. One of those. Ideally, a good split for me is working out 4 to 5 times a day, weightlifting, and then 2 to 3 times a week running, right? That's kind of the ideal split for me personally. And then by month 3, I want to incorporate my daily exercise in addition to walking at least 6,000 steps a day. That'll be a lot easier on the days that I'm running. It's almost a 2-for-1, but there's also the exercise days. So it's the walking and the exercise collectively is my month 3 target, right? So my goal is to work out every day and walk 6,000 steps. Well, I know if my goal is to do that starting today, it's more likely not going to happen. It's going to be very difficult to build towards that, because that's at least 2 hours a day, 1.5 hours a day going towards that. Well, it'll be easier for me to achieve that goal and hit the ground running in the new year if I've built my way up to that point, instead of trying to do all of it at once from the very beginning. Understand this. This is literally every part of your life. Like if you're starting at 0 and you're trying to execute this, going from 0 to this immediately is why you more likely fail. Why I failed trying to do too much too quickly. Or if you can do it for a short enough period of time, you haven't built the habit long enough that it's very easy to completely throw you off track and restart. The best thing you can do if you mess up is just restart, move on. You make a mistake, don't make it again the next day, right? It's very imperative you think with that mindset, but also don't stretch yourself too much trying to build a habit. If you're starting from 0 and you're trying to go for your level 10 goal results, build your way there. This is my version of that. tools. So I use the Caliber app to track my exercises. I can track if I'm running, if I'm walking. I can build my own workouts in there, like weightlifting. This is where I primarily track my weightlifting plus additional workouts. They also have pre-built workouts, but I just put in my own. If you need help on building your own exercise or diet plan, like talk to professionals, talk to ChatGPT, give them a pretty good idea of what you're looking for. Plenty of resources and tools online. Like, I'm not here to provide you a custom workout plan. That's not my thing, right? I'll give you a custom real estate investing plan, but not a workout plan. And then for my steps, it's on the Apple app. Like, I have my phone usually on me, and especially when I'm walking, on my phone on me. And so this is something that I'm really focused on. A big part about walking, to understand why it's still important for me, in addition to the exercises, I feel like walking plays one of two key roles in my life. It allows me the opportunity to walk and clear my brain for 30-ish minutes, enjoy nature, just clear my brain, be more creative and all that good stuff. Or when I am distracted, I'm either distracted creating content while I'm walking, which is a great 2-for-1, or even better, I take my baby and we go on walks together. So it's like there's the exercise, which I do independently, but then there's the walking, which is great for my mental clarity, content creation, which comes from more of that mental clarity and focus, or walking with my baby, which I love doing as well in the mornings or evenings. So that's kind of why I also incorporate walking to my overall exercise. For me personally, just have a reason for what you're focused on. Otherwise, it's going to be hard to maintain it. The third one is address your deficiencies. You probably already know that there is something that you should do more of. Like, what are you deficient in what you're intaking in your body? Or you can leverage blood work to determine what is it that you're missing, right? Like, where nutritionally, what are you missing? You have a better idea of what you're missing, but for the majority of people, it's a combination of some of these, one of these, all of these. Daily creatine, if you're focused on weightlifting, it's one of those things that I see all over the place about how great it is for you. I take creatine every once in a while, or I take it consistently now, but I've gone through it in bursts when I was just working out. Now I take it as a daily supplement. Drink more water. I mean, if anyone had to prioritize one, you probably need to drink more water early and all throughout the day and at larger quantities. And then vitamins. This is where the blood work is great. It'll tell you what you should focus on, typically where you're deficient. As someone who's worked in the medical field, who's got an environmental and medical background and worked with lots of doctors and medical professionals, I will say a lot of medical professionals and high-level research studies like at Stanford don't really believe in this very much. They don't believe so much in the blood work to identify deficiencies and then over-supplement yourself. What they say is the best way to get there is through raw and whole foods, eat right, and the majority of Americans already get the vitamins that they need. When I lived in Alaska, we needed vitamin D because we didn't have a lot of sunlight. So like places that, have certain things that make it less likely to get that vitamin naturally, well, you might need to supplement it. Say the medical professionals primarily say it's not needed. If there's certain things that you want to take, go for it. I'm not here to advocate for any or all of this, except you probably need to drink more water. For me, my daily creatine and then 8-ounce cups of water a day, so half a gallon. Month 2, increase that to 3/4 of a gallon, right? It's easy to say I'm going to drink a gallon of water, but it's not realistic to implement that consistently and to ensure that I'm doing it consistently. So that's why I'm progressing forward with increasing my water intake each month to make it more difficult, with the ideal goal of getting close to 1 gallon of water intake a day, right? So it's 8-ounce cups is not exactly half a gallon, but it's pretty close to it. Increase that to 12 cups of water, or like 1 or 2 of these jugs. I don't know how much water this is, but it's a good amount of water. And then get to 1 gallon of water per day. So for tracking this, like, you could get really granular. There's apps to track this kind of stuff. I'm not overly worried about tracking this. I will take my creatine daily to check it off, and I will know how many of these bottles I got to drink per day, or bottles like this per day of water. If I achieve that goal, great. If not, well, I'm drinking a lot of water at night, which means I'm waking up and going to the bathroom a lot, but that is my fault. And I will get it done every single day without question. Even if it means I have to cram it at the end of the day. It means I got to go on a walk and cram a bunch of water in the last 30 minutes of the night. That's what I got to do.